Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to film an animated object with the take recorder. And there's a couple little quirky things about this, so I want to show them to you. We're going to first create a cube. So I'm going to right click and go to Blueprint Class and go to Actor. And I'll just leave it called New Blueprint. And we just want a cube. So I'm going to get a cube right there. Compile and save. And notice that if I open this up a little bit, it has the basic shape material. And we'll see if this gives us a hard time or not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drag this cube onto the scene. And that's all we need to do. So now we're going to use the sequencer to animate this cube. And that's what can be confusing about the sequencer is it has so many purposes. You can use it to trigger events, coordinate events, animate anything in the engine, and also film. So it's like a jack of all trades kind of, and it's hard to learn because it just does so much. And supposedly in 5.5 they made it better, but I haven't seen that yet. So anyway, if I right click, I'm going to go to Cinematics and go to Level Sequence, and we'll leave it called New Level Sequence. And I'm going to go to Add here, and we're going to add that cube, the new blueprint here. And now that we have that selected, we can access pretty much everything there is inside of that blueprint. So there's a little plus sign here, and you'll see there's the cube right there. Now what I want to do is spin the cube and change its colors. So those are two properties that we can animate here. So the first thing I'm going to do is hold down Control, and with my middle scroll wheel, scroll backwards. I'm going to change this from show time in frames to seconds, and then I'm going to grab that bar and drag this out to be about 15 seconds. So we're going to have a 15-second looping animation. Now I'm going to click here, and I want to go to my material right there. Now you'll notice when I bring that in, I've lost my material. So now I need to select the material. So I'm going to go Basic Shape, I believe it was called, right here. And then we're done with this. Go back in here and click it again on Slot World Grid Material. And then this is the dimension that we're going to animate on. And if you click it, you'll see we have a color option. And then what we can do, make sure Auto Keyframe is on. Now if I click here, this I believe is going to be a, let me open this up. You'll see it's a white color. I'm just going to drag it out to here, and we'll add we'll change the we'll add a keyframe here, I guess we have to do. And if I double click on this, I can change it to like a green and go OK. And then I'm just going to click and drag this and do it this way. Click here, add a keyframe, double click here, make it kind of blue, drag it over here. See, can I just double click there? No, it's did something weird there. So add a keyframe, let's double click. We'll make this yellow. Okay. And then just one more should do it. Drag it out, add a keyframe, and maybe make this red. And we'll go OK. So we have a nice color change there. Then I'll close that up. And the next thing I want to do is get it to spin. So now I'll click on that plus sign, and we'll go to transform, and we'll kind of do what we just did except with the dimension of rotation. So I'm going to just click here and add a keyframe. I kind of went the wrong way. I'm going to come back to the front then. And then here on rotation on the yaw, I'm going to add, I'm just going to turn it, and it should auto, so it's going to, there we go. So now if I hit, go back to the beginning and I hit play, you'll see it should be spinning and changing colors. See how cool that is? We got our cube, it's animated, the sequence is driving it. So what I'm going to do is go save all, and then I'm just going to drag this into the scene, and I'm going to set it on loop indefinitely and autoplay. So then if I hit play, you'll see if I'm in the scene, it's doing its thing. Everything's Great. Now I just want to film that cube. So the first thing is, well, I'm going to need a camera to film it with. That makes sense. So I'm going to come up here. I'll go to place actors and I'll go ahead and just grab a cine camera. I'm going to drag it into the scene. The easiest thing to do is switch into pilot mode here. I'm in pilot mode, and then I can fly around the scene, right? I can slow my camera down and just position myself wherever I think a good shot would be. So maybe something like that, or I don't know. Just so we can see all three dimensions of it. And then let's say that's where I want my camera. So then I'm going to come out of pilot mode and trust that my camera stays in that position. And so now we want to film it. And here's the quirky part coming up. So the take recorder is really interesting, and I've done tutorials about it in the past, but it seems like it will only film like in certain dimensions, and you got to give it the source. So in a sense, it's almost like the sequencer in a sense, how you can go in and animate properties. But like with the take recorder, it's not that you're animating properties, but it's like you're telling it what properties to render. Anyway, we'll come up here to Windows Cinematics Take Recorder, and there it is. And here's what I'm saying is we have to give it a source. We click source here, and we want to find our cine camera actor, because that would be our source. And then look here. You see what I was talking about earlier? Look how many properties it's filming on. 326. Two components, 326 properties. So if you double click it and you start opening these things up, you'll start seeing all the things that it's filming on. All these categories. So you could, if you wanted to, come in here and tell it not to film this, not to film that. Like we probably don't need post-processing settings. So if I click those off, look what happens to the properties. They drop down, right? Because we don't really need that. Look at tracking settings. We don't need that. You know, and you could go through here and start adjusting all different kinds of things. But that's why I'm saying it's so interesting because it's so selective in what it renders. Here's the thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to record what it sees, essentially. And there's all these properties that it's going to record. So I'm going to go play, and then I'm going to go record. 3, 2, 1, and now it should be filming as long as I want it to go. It should be. I guess I thought I set that to loop, but I guess I didn't. Oh, here it goes. I see it going again. So now that's long enough. So I'm just going to hit stop. Now here's the confusing part. We're going to go into the content browser. We're going to go to Cinematics folder. We're going to come in here. Let's turn that off because that's confusing too. We're going to go into the take right here. We're going to go click it on camera cuts. But if you hit play here, what's interesting is you don't see anything. And it looks like it didn't record. But it did record. We just can't see it. So we're going to stop it here. And we're going to click here to render it out. Go capture movie. Do not save. And look. There. It caught it. It rendered it out. So anyway, there's a lot of trial and error with the take recorder. It's just one of those things that you kind of got to get in there and just make your mistakes. I hope you found this of some help. So take care, and I'll talk to you next time.